So I've been talking a lot about Dtravel, TRVL. I'm wearing the Dtravel t-shirt. I've got Dtravel hat on. Do that every time. Why? Because I'm a TRVL maximalist, dare I say it? Not really. Uh, the reality is that I've been involved in Dtravel for 4.5 years, and I've been an Airbnb super host for a long time, a very long time. This is my Dtravel page. So the way it works is that Dtravel hosts my own direct booking site. Okay, so I don't host it, they host it. It doesn't cost me anything, and this doesn't cost me anything. And I set this up in 10 minutes basically. I have an Airbnb profile, so I've been on Airbnb for a long time. Here it says 9 years, it's longer. And as you can see, I have a really good, strong profile, 181 reviews, 4.99 star. And you know, the reviews speak for themselves, don't they? Like, I don't want to read them because I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but if you are interested, you could go and have a look and see that I have a lot of experience in Airbnb. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to hospitality and giving people good experiences. And London is one of the hardest cities in the world to perform in terms of Airbnb, because the competition is off the charts. It's crazy, and people have really high expectations. Especially, you have a varying level of expectations. Some people come from certain countries, they have low expectations, they give you high stars, high reviews. Some people come from more developed, more luxurious, modern parts of the world, and they have much higher expectations. And so it's very hard to achieve high ratings on properties in London. And like, look at this one, 5 stars, 53 reviews, 5 stars. Look at this, 49 reviews, 5 stars. It's really hard to maintain a profile where you have 5. So it means no one gave you anything less than 5 stars. It's very difficult. So I've got a lot of experience in Airbnb, and what I've been doing or trying to do is bringing all of my knowledge and experience to Dtravel. Why Dtravel? Okay, well, it isn't just about crypto. It's about the future. It's about the future that I see. It's about the future that I believe in. It's about the future that I am envisioning, and it's about the future that I am creating, contributing to create. Yeah, it's about a decentralized future which is owned and governed by the entities, or in this case the operators, who add value to the network that's being built and created. Yeah, in a Bitcoin context, that would be the miners. Yeah, so they are the ones who are adding the network value, the real world value. And so naturally, as that network grows, the value of the network grows, and the miners are the ones who are extracting the value that network is intrinsically creating, yeah, or drawing from the real world. Yeah? And so you have this transference of value from the real world to the Web3 world, or to this virtual world, this cyber world, this crypto world. And in the context of Dtravel, I feel that it's exactly the same. We're on exactly the same path as Bitcoin. Okay, I feel that what we're doing now is in the process of creating a real world network. And so you can view that real world network on this link. I'll paste that link in chat. It's june.com and then /dtraveldao /dtravel /network analytics. And here you can see the progression of the network that we are building. You've got the operator signups. Operator is, you can interchange that word with host. So operator host signups, you can see that we currently have 10,597 operators signed up to our network. Okay, we have listings. These are the live listings, active listings, and we currently have 5,226. And you can see the number of cities that we're in. We're located in 1,185 cities. We're located in 138 different countries. And you can see this is the cumulative turnover that Dtravel has processed in the whole of the history of Dtravel going live, and the average booking value. So we have all these stats. This is kind of synonymous to the Bitcoin network growing and the miners coming onto the network. And so we're at the first stage of creating this real world network. It's taken time. Okay. The reality is it takes a lot longer to do this than it is for Bitcoin to grow at the beginning, because Bitcoin, all you just needed was a computer. Most people had computers back then, and all they needed to do was just download the application and run the application, and then that would add one to the network, and it was very simple. With us, it's a lot more complicated. It's a lot more cumbersome, and there's a bit of a process to it, because there has to be an onboarding, and usually the onboarding takes a little bit of time, because you have to connect it with Airbnb. So whatever your Airbnb profile, you have to connect it. You have to import the Airbnb profile and create your profile to generate this Dtravel hosted website, similar to Shopify, where Shopify hosts a person's e-commerce site. Here, Dtravel is hosting a person's personal direct booking site, personal Airbnb, personal for their own property portfolio. And that takes a little bit of time. So that is the reason why this is taking a little bit of time. Yeah. And to get to this level is a massive achievement, because you think it's easy. It's not. To begin with, it's so hard to tell people, explain to people, give them the reasons why, give them the benefits, onboard them, get them to start accepting bookings, and for them to start seeing the value for themselves. It's a real long process. And the great thing is that we're on an uptrend. You might not realize it, but this is an uptrend. Yeah, it looks flat in the sense that it's quite proportional and not exponential, but actually this is the beginning of the future. This is the first bit of the future that I'm seeing and imagining. Yeah, getting to 5,226 is a real achievement, because one day in the future we're going to be at 50,000. One day in the future, we're going to be at 500,000. And one day in the future, we're going to be at millions. One day in the future, you're going to be looking at this and laughing. Okay. You can maybe even looking at this video, watching this video, and go, what the hell? 10 years later, this guy was telling us about Dtravel when it was only at 5,000 listings and we're at like 2 million or something. You'd be like laughing. And it'd be funny. It'd be a funny conversation to have in the future. Okay. So creating this real world network is a real headache and a real achievement. And so I've been bringing my knowledge, my expertise, my understanding of the market to Dtravel. I've been involved with them for 4.5 years for free, not being paid a penny, because I believe in a decentralized future of peer-to-peer online vacation rentals. And that's why I continue to make videos and continue to support Dtravel with my own properties. And just to give you a visual idea of the success, these are my properties, the back end, and I've completed 34 bookings to date. That's in 4 years, exactly this month, July, 4 years ago, and I have realized earnings of $64,988 in direct bookings. That's in 4 years. I pay taxes on all of those. I pay taxes in the UK, self-assessed taxes. I declare all of that to the tax authority here and pay my taxes. So none of this is illegitimate money. This is all legitimate money, earnings, which I'm declaring and paying taxes on, okay, to the regulatory authority that I'm under jurisdiction. So everyone has their own tax authority, and I'm paying taxes on these. But this is exactly where I think the future is heading. And that's why I'm so heavily involved in pushing and promoting Dtravel, because I believe that in the future, this is going to explode. Yeah. And so what's happened is that we've gone through a massive transition stage. And so we're building the application. If you want to go and have a look at the application, please go and have a look at dtravel.com. You can find it here, find stays, book direct, earn rewards. You can quick view some destinations like Dubai, Boston, Warsaw, or search for a destination. Let's go to Bali, and it's like a search engine. It's an application. It's a web app, so it's a search engine which works which works in your phone. That didn't work. I don't know why that didn't work. Let me try Paris. I wonder why it didn't work. Let me just have another click. It bugged out or something. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine. Bali. So here, 100+ results. Look at that. This is Bali. So if you want to go to Bali, you can have a look here. You can go on Airbnb. You can have a look here. Every single one of these properties are direct booking sites. Every single one. And if you click on any one of them, you'll go directly to the owner of the property. Directly. And so now you're dealing directly with the owner. Okay. And that helps because you can ask questions. There's no censorship. There's no danger of being blocked or banned by Airbnb. You can, and then when you book and pay, you can check the availability. You can have a conversation with them using their contact information, and it's very transparent. You see that? You can chat on WhatsApp. I haven't seen that. Wow, look at that. Hi there. And Instagram, look at that. All of this information. You can ask questions, and then they have an Airbnb profile. Usually, you can see that. So here, I can click on that, and I can see the Airbnb profile of the same person. She's a super host, 4.8 star rating, 2 years hosting. So now I can directly contact her. So you can book it on Airbnb if you want, or you can book it directly and save money. And that's the key, saving money. And here you can, not only can you see our other properties and see the availability, but also when you go to pay, check availability and pay, you can pay using so many different means. Let me just try it here just to see if it works. Oh, it's send the request to book. Okay, so it's a request to book. So what they've added, what she's added is a set. You can add a second layer, similar to Airbnb, a request to book. You can't. So with my sites, you can just book it, but you can activate a request to book. So she has the right or the permission to accept the booking or not. So it's really there's options here which are very similar to Airbnb. Let me see if I can find one which is where I can book instantly. I mean, this is another site. You see that? Luxury Villa Bali. Really nice properties. Oh wow, amazing properties. I think I need to go to Bali and check these out. Reserve. You see, so this is not a request to book, this is reserve. I click on reserve, and what do I see? I see options. Hopefully I see options. Yes, this is it. You can pay with crypto. This is amazing. You can pay with crypto. You don't need a wallet. If you don't have a wallet, you can create it sends you to download a wallet. Okay, or there should be a way that you can create a Dtravel hosted wallet. These are the options at the moment in crypto. USDT, that's Tether. USDC, that's a stable coin on the Ethereum network. We've got Matic here, which is a layer 2, which is low transaction fees. You've got TRVL, which is on the base chain, which is on the Coinbase network, which is also a layer 2 low fees. And then you have ETH as well. And so these are the options. And the great thing is that soon, probably next month, probably by the end of next month, like not a long way to go, we're also going to be able to accept Bitcoin on the Lightning network. So there's lots of improvements being made to this. And so here you can actually only pay using crypto, which is interesting. And this is one of the benefits of Dtravel. If you're not on Airbnb or you have no bank account, you can still rent your property and accept crypto. And that's one of the key advantages with Dtravel, the crypto part. And the great thing about it is that this is all done on the blockchain. The smart contracts and the reservations are stored and processed on the blockchain and managed by the blockchain. It's a very transparent future way of doing things. And the other thing is, which is really important, is that it's insured. So let me see if I can find the insurance. Does it say anywhere? Help center, find stays. Let me have a look on the help center. I'd like to find it if I can. Sure. Not there. Trust. Know your guest risk management. Maybe it's there. So there's guest screening. There it is. Damage protection plan. So Know Your Guest offers a $5 million damage protection plan against guest related damages during a verified Know Your Guest booking. So as long as there's intelligent, you can activate this. So there's a screening process, and if they pass, then you can add this damage protection. So it includes guest accidental damage and malicious damage, theft, belongings and contents, and damage to common shared areas. So this is great. This is really good. Yeah, and actually this is much more, it's a more comprehensive insurance protection policy than Airbnb. The waiver and everything is much better. So this is really what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a decentralized network which gives people a better experience than Airbnb, and it's less costly because people are booking directly, and so now the hosts aren't paying the extortionate prices that Airbnb and Booking.com and all these other centralized platforms are charging. Okay, and if you accept crypto, even better, because now you're not even, your guest or yourself, you're not even paying the credit card fee, which can be ridiculous too. So there's so many advantages. And in the future, and this is the future, and so I keep on talking about the future. The future is this, that TRVL would be an extremely desired asset, extremely desired. Okay, we're not there yet, and so that's why I keep on talking about the future. Okay, TRVL is our native token, crypto token, which is our utility token, which supports and upholds our ecosystem, our Dtravel ecosystem. But at the moment, it's just a operator rewards token. It's just a rewards token, which has been given intrinsic value, but the intrinsic value comes from the market. Yeah, it comes from just the ordinary market. In the future, and I tell you something, the way we're going, it's going to be much quicker than people think. Okay, we're going to give TRVL such a grand intrinsic value that it's going to be similar to Bitcoin. Okay, things are changing very fast, and you're going to see those changes translate into increasing TRVL value, where people will come to the Dtravel network not just for all the benefits that I've been talking about, for having a direct booking site, for being part of the Dtravel family and the Dtravel network, for being able to accept crypto, for having better insurance package, for just not being in danger of being cancelled by Airbnb, because it's a real threat and a real danger for a lot of super hosts who get cancelled, but also the ability to earn TRVL, which will be an exponential appreciating asset in the future. Now, why am I so confident about that? Because we haven't developed the correct tokenomics to give TRVL the value that TRVL should have. It's really that simple. I've talked about it a lot on my streams in the past, in the present, and probably in the future. Yeah, in the past, Dtravel were going down this direction, which wasn't necessarily being understood by the market. It's all about understanding. It's all about people understanding. People didn't understand certain aspects of Dtravel, like the Night Protocol, a revolutionary idea, but not understood. And because it's not understood, or because it's too early for its time, people aren't necessarily buying into it. And the tokenomics that was presented reflected the Night Protocol, which is way ahead of its time. Okay, way ahead, too far ahead. It's like investing in the internet back in 1970s. Like, you'd be waiting for years, decades before the internet took off, and that's basically what the Night Protocol is. And so the tokenomics doesn't necessarily reflect the value that TRVL should have. And this is evident because when I look at the market cap of TRVL, I'm going to go to CoinGecko now. So for people who don't know, CoinGecko is where you can see the stats of a token price and value, and it shows you the market cap. At the moment, the market cap is trading at $3.8 million, but at the lows of April, the market cap was, here you can see it, it was $2.1 million. Okay, and back in April, the cumulative turnover was $1.2 million. So there's a definite mismatch between the real network that's being built, the amount of energy, time, coding, innovation to create this real world network. The time is important, and how the listeners have grown, the operator. There's so much more value has gone into this than $2.1 million, including the turnover. And here you can see that back in April, it was only trading at a market value of 2. It was dirt cheap. Okay. Now we're at 3.8. It's still cheap, yeah, because there's still no real reflection of the value of the network in the token. And part of the reason is simply what I was saying is that this tokenomics model doesn't reflect the future, where the future value is going to come. It reflects a far future into the future. It's like 20 years into the future, 15 years into the future, the Night Protocol. But actually, this is changing. This is changing, and it's probably changing much quicker than you think. And what we're going to do, hopefully, is implement a Bitcoin model. Okay. Now, how that comes or presents itself is going to be a discussion to be had, yeah. But I am talking especially to people about a Bitcoin model, about a deflationary Bitcoin model, where the emission reduces over time, and then there's a competitive nature to earning our native token in a token economy. Okay. And actually what I've been imagining is it's going to be better than Bitcoin. It's going to be much better for different reasons, but I'm not going to talk about it now. But this is the future. And so there's so much that's going on with Dtravel. I really think that people should understand what's happening, get involved with the Telegram channel. It's really important that people get involved with our Telegram channel. We're trying to make it more active now. It's called Dtravel Community, and the community is growing. There's lots of things happening. I'm chatting a lot, so get involved with Dtravel Community and get involved with Dtravel. What we're trying to do as a community is build our network, grow our network, and there's a lot of things happening. And so I've been talking to people in Dtravel. I've been talking to about the possibility of growing our network in different parts of the world where there's low visibility or where we have no presence. And one of those places is El Salvador. And so I've spent 3 months in El Salvador. I'm going back to El Salvador in September to spend another 4 months. And I've seen a real opportunities to grow Dtravel there, mainly because the banking system there is still quite, dare I say it, backwards. There's huge fees on bank transfers, and also a lot of people don't have bank accounts, but the crypto there is growing very fast. The Bitcoin Lightning network, a lot of people have the Bitcoin Lightning app, and so there's a real opportunity for Dtravel to grow in El Salvador, and that could be the beachhead for the Normandy landing when we invade, where the Allies invaded Germany. And so it could be El Salvador, and then we could possibly invade the rest of Central and South America in the future, because some of the same problems exist in other parts of South America. But ultimately, the real value isn't just the real world network exponentially growing, but it's going to be a significant shift of the tokenomics. All of that is on the cards. It's on the table, and it's going to happen a lot sooner than people think. So I'm here now just talking about it. And what we've noticed is ever since I started streaming, and so I talk about this a lot, I don't like to blow my own trumpet. I never do. Okay. It's not my business. And honestly, I have never received 1 penny from Dtravel for the videos I create or the work I do. For me, this is actually more of a hobby than anything else. I do have TRVL, so I have an interest. Yeah. I'm just like anyone else. I accumulate over a long period of time, dollar cost averaging. Every time I feel like it's a good time to buy, I buy some more. Yeah. The price is down significantly from most people's entry price. I don't really see that as a problem, because I'm seeing it as a long hold. And with all of the changes that I'm seeing and with the growth of the network, I feel that we're going to have an explosive move. That's why I'm kind of streaming again. But I took a long break. I took a 4-month break from streaming, and I was back streaming for the first time on July the 6th. And since July the 6th, which is basically here, The price of the token is up 59.74%. How amazing is that? Crazy. It's a crazy increase of growth, because here I am now talking about big things, huge things, massive things, and people are starting to pay attention. And let me tell you something, this is only the beginning. So when I started restreaming again, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can have a look at that. I think you'll be interested. Like, I think a lot of people should like pay attention to what I'm saying. If people paid attention on day one when I returned, you'd be up 60% on your investment already. Yeah, so I'm not messing around. Like, I'm here telling people the future. Yeah, in that sense, I'm a visionary. Look, my last stream before I came back, I streamed 4 months ago, and here I am back 13 days ago, talking about TRVL, and you can see here clearly that that was 6th of July. It was 11 a.m. 6th of July, and here in my live analysis, I talk about Dtravel, I talk about TRVL. Here it is. Look at that. Look at where we were, right down there. And here I am talking about exactly the same thing, the fundamentals. I talk about the changes. I talk about the Fibonacci time. If you go to that video, you'll see what I was talking. So it's still a relevant video. So if people haven't watched that video, you can go to this playlist. You can have a look at that video. I cut it and made it into its own video 13 days ago. Big Dtravel changes will cause TRVL to explode in price. Yeah, that's the title. And guess what? TRVL is up 60% already. So yeah, is that an explosion in price or not? Now, you could argue that it's got everything to do with alt season and crypto. I don't think so. I think what's happening is now people are starting to see what I see. Yeah, people are starting to catch the vision, which is what I'm talking about, the vision of the future. And, you know, and people are starting to buy, and we're starting to see evidence of that. And even now when I'm looking at the charts, I don't really need to go into the charts right now, because if you go to all of my videos, the last video was on Friday, you'll see I talk about the charts. Yeah, and you can go back to YouTube, to my channel, you can have a look at my playlists. All of the analysis is relevant, and I tell you good places to buy and sell, etc. But what I'm seeing here, and so let's have a look at the weekly time frame. Look at the weekly time frame. I'm seeing a bullish rise in price, increasing volume, increasing prices. For me, that is bullish. That is a bullish sign that we're seeing an increase in price and increase in volume. Okay, and that really interests me. It should interest everyone else. If you look at the monthly time frame candle, we've almost matched the previous month's volume, and look, we're already back at almost at the high of the previous month. That's quite bullish. It's quite bullish to be back up there, and we still have another 10 days to go. And so, and when I was looking at these other candles, look at the 3 month, we've almost reversed the 3-month candle, and the 6-month candle, we're still a way to go. And I think probably in this 6 months we'll reverse this completely at the very least. I actually am just looking at the way the price is moving. I think it's highly likely that we're gonna at the very least get back up to the top there, which is 4.5 cents, and just from where the price is right now. Okay, it's a balance of probabilities. That's a 400% increase in value. I think that's very likely with what's happening. But with the changes that I'm seeing, the changes that I've been imagining, and they're happening fast, and the Dtravel haven't made any announcements yet. It's just me telling people that I actually think we're probably going to get a much more explosive move in the next 6 months to, and it depends, because we have to see how alt season plays out. So there's a lot of factors that could make us move higher. I'm very interested in seeing how this 12-month candle ends. And so right now, because it's quite high volume, if this 12-month candle ends above the previous year all-time low, which is 2 cents, yeah, then next year we're looking for an explosive move to the upside, and it's going to be a real explosion. Okay, that's really what I'm seeing right now. So I'm seeing right now is a really amazing opportunity for people to buy, because I am seeing a potential where the price of TRVL goes all the way up to wherever it wants to, 4 cents, 3 cents, or even higher, closes back in the range. The range that I'm imagining is the range that I've always talked about. It's this previous range with the previous all-time high roughly about 2 cents and a kind of like 9 cents. That's the range that we've all been talking about, the 2 to 9 cents range. If TRVL closes in the range at the end of this year, then on the yearly time frame, you're looking at a really bullish bottoming candle. It's a high volume red candle closing back in the range. Really bullish, extremely bullish, like mega bullish, crazy bullish, beyond bullish belief. And then the next year, I'll be looking for an expansive move to the upside. And then, honestly, probably all the way up at the very least to, according to this, at the very least, probably up to 30 cents, but probably more, yeah. It all depends on how we close this yearly candle, this 12-month candle, yeah, and this 6-month candle. We can close back in the range, we're laughing, literally laughing, okay. And so I'd like to see the next 3 months close green, which I think it will. And then I'd like to see the next 3 months close green. And if it's back in the range, then we're laughing, okay. That's kind of what I'm seeing in Dtravel. Back in the range, then this whole thing becomes a deviation from the range, back in the range. Then the next year we're looking at a breakout to the upside, and that's where anyone who's accumulating now could potentially become a millionaire. Basically, really, it's really that simple. This, like, no one can see the future, but if I'm just saying, if these things happen, it could happen. And then also, this is really the best time and place to buy. It's the first green month after this drop, and you're buying to the lows here. And I really think, do your own research. I'm not saying buy because it's all non-financial advice, but if you wanted to invest, just have a look at the stats, have a look at the research, have a look at everything. Just watch my video again, have a look at my profile. I'm not messing around. I'm serious. Like when I'm telling people, this is me, you can go and have a look. This is my business. This is my back end. When I talk about talking about starting my stream again, I was saying this is the right time. And look, it's up 60%. And now on the higher time frame, I'm saying this is still the right time. Yeah. And maybe by next year, the beginning of next, depending on how we end this year, we could laugh. We could be laughing. Everyone here, we could suddenly be at like 17.5, 30 cents, 50 cents. It could happen. Could totally happen. All right. With the changes that are being suggested and proposed, you're going to see a lot of increase in volume, a lot of increase in prices on TRVL. Yeah. They haven't even begun announcing things. They haven't even begun marketing. Yeah. And I'm telling you, the marketing that we're going to be doing is going to be crazy. I'm fully 100% committed from September, from now actually, but through to at the very least December, January, to push this because I believe in it. And why do I believe in it? Because I'm seeing the results. I'm seeing the results. Yeah. And I'm just one of many, but eventually this 5,000 listings is going to be 10,000 and 15,000 and 20,000 and 50,000 and 100,000 and 100. And when it is, you never want to sell TRVL, especially with the tokenomics changes that are coming in the future. You'll never want to sell. Every dip will be a buy the dip opportunity. You'll never want to sell. Okay, you'll never want to sell. I promise you that. And amazingly, in bear markets, these real world network tokens with strong token economies and strong tokenomics do very well, especially when we actually end up implementing a Bitcoin model, which we will. I think we will because there's a lot of positive chat around some of the ideas that I've suggested in the past, and now we're coming back to have those conversations. And so I really feel that this is a great opportunity for anyone who's looking to accumulate a token, put it in their portfolio for a long hold, at least for the duration of the end of this bull market into alt season. This is a good token. And so in the short term, I've said this before, if anyone is feeling bullish, I hope everyone is. If you're bullish, I hope you are. We have to take out this pivot. We have to. This is target. This is our target. And the only way to take out this pivot is with market buying. Okay. And if you're looking to buy and you want to help, because we're creating a movement, right? We're coming into a resistance zone soon. I've talked about the resistance zone. It's basically this monthly level, which is combined with a Fibonacci retracement. Let me just try and pull it up. There it is. That's your area of interest here. Okay. Bizarrely, that's a really good place to buy. Let me explain. Right now, people are buying and the price is going up because it's illiquid. That's why the price is going up, because people are buying. They're trying to fill their orders. They're saying, look, I need to buy 100,000 TRVL and put it in my portfolio. How do you buy that? You have to market buy. When you market buy, it pushes the price up. And so these last few days or weeks, people have been trying to put TRVL in their portfolio and no one is selling. And therefore, the only way that they can fill is the market buy, which pushes the price up. Yeah, you can do that when you've overcorrected and you're in the lows. You can market buy and not worry about the price slipping because it's still low. You're kind of contemplating a higher time frame scenario. Now, when you want to fill a larger position, yeah, this is a real opportunity, because here you're going to find liquidity, because it's a natural area where liquidity exists. It's a golden pocket tied to the monthly level, tied to a high volume node. Yeah, so that you have kind of different technical aspects of the charts. It's also in this local range, it's the value area high, but on the overall range, it's a high volume node. So there's a very good chance that some people who have bought in this move are going to take profit here by selling. Yeah, ideally they're just going to put limit orders, and I think if people are looking to sell, put limit orders. Some people might market sell, but ideally people are just going to put limit orders, and so you're going to find a little bit of liquidity in this area. And why? Because traders or some people are happy with some of their gains and they're just looking to take some profit. It might be small profits because they're still higher time frame bullish and they're looking for higher prices, but you're going to find liquidity here. And for the people out there who are looking to buy more TRVL without moving the price, this is going to be a really good area, because you might here be able to buy 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 million TRVL and not move the price. So you won't find slippage. Yeah. And that is what we're looking for. We're looking for bigger players who are looking to buy larger amounts of TRVL to buy into this zone and push the price through. Okay. Like a higher volume push through this area. And then if we can get that and find support, then we have a chance of, like, if we can find a little bit of correction above here, we have a really nice chance of going up, taking out that high. And once we do take out that high, we've actually confirmed the market structure change to bullish on the weekly time frame. That's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining that we take out that high, we push through this area with volume next week, hopefully, or the week after, in the next week or two, and then we take out that high. We take out the high. The structure of the market is bullish on the weekly time frame, and what happens then is that crypto traders or crypto investors see that there's been a change, a higher time frame change in structure. They would then consider this to be the bottom. That would be their confirmation, and then they would start buying the dip. Then every dip becomes a trader's paradise. You buy the dips, you sell the rises. Buy the dips, sell the rises. That's what you do. You do that all the way up to higher prices. You buy the dips, sell the rises. Buy the dips, sell this. When you get bullish market structure, that's what you do. You buy the dips, you sell the rises. Okay. So we're just waiting to see that happen. I think we have a good chance of making that happen in the next couple of weeks or so. Let's see how we get through this area, but there is going to be a really nice opportunity for people to fill their bags here at really good prices without the slippage, because it's going to be a liquid area of potentially sellers. Honestly, don't sell. If people have TRVL, just don't sell. Just let the price go up. Let the price go up, because we're aiming for much higher. We're aiming for much higher. I think the way the prices collapsed, to me, I got this kind of idea that we can go up, and then we can go up really fast, really quickly. We'll probably end up going up really quickly. And so before you know it, from the current area, not financial advice, you could be up 400%. Yeah. And that's why I think people should be a little bit more patient. Form an inverse head and shoulders scenario. I've been talking about this, some kind of inverse head and shoulders, and then a breakout for the ages, pushing us right to the top of this range, or somewhere in the middle of this range to the top of this range. That's technical. That would be a nice payday for almost everyone. And then what we want to see is, we want to see the year end. We want to see a really strong defense of this 2 cent though, wherever the price gets up to. And if we can get that, then we're going to see a breakout that's going to be unbelievable next year, possibly. We'll possibly see, in this kind of situation, I think possibly we're going to see a crazy breakout to much higher prices. Okay. And you really want to be in on this token. I've been also talking about Coinbase listing. Why not? Why can't we get a Coinbase listing? Dtravel is now an American registered company, and the founder and the CEO of Coinbase used to be an Airbnb executive. If people didn't know that, he used to work for Airbnb at a high level. And so there's a natural matching between what we are doing and potentially going on Coinbase. And remember, TRVL is on Base. It's on the Base network. And what's happening as well with Base is they're launching a wallet, an app, and we're also in conversations with getting TRVL on that as the traveler, kind of the traveler front space, like the traveler facing part of that app. And we talk, there's lots of conversations. Dtravel is busy as ever. They're probably busier than ever. And now is really the opportunity of a lifetime for a lot of people to get involved. Hey, don't get involved if you don't want to get involved. It's not financial advice. But if you do get involved, then don't just get involved and buy some token. Share the love, share my videos, retweet, like the YouTube. I really would appreciate that. Give me a like on YouTube every single time. Write a comment. It helps with the algorithm. And hopefully, and if you don't know where my YouTube channel is, it's there. It's youtube.com/AmirZX or ZX. I'm going to post it here so you can see it. It's going to appear at the bottom of the screen now. There it is. If you could just go and subscribe, that would be really appreciated. And then I've got a Dtravel playlist. If you look at the playlist, you can see all my videos going back a long time. I've made so many videos, and I've only just started. I've made 211 videos, and I've only just started. Like, I have more energy now than ever to make more videos. I've started to do different kinds of videos, and I'm going to do more and more varied videos, especially when I go back out to El Salvador. I'm going to actually start kind of like doing Dtravel properties as well. It's on my mind. And so this is what I'm trying to do. If you could support my work, that would be appreciated. I'm not asking for money, but if you can give me a like and a share and come into our Telegram and chat and say hi, that would be appreciated. So that's my Dtravel TRVL update for today. If there's any questions, I'll take them. If not, I'll move on to HBAR. RH, hi, how's it going? I saw you were there, but I just didn't want to interrupt. Nice to have you, as always. So let's go and have a look at HBAR, and then I'll probably end the stream. It's already a lot. Oh god, it's 30 minutes over. So let me quickly have a look at HBAR. Defridge is saying anyone getting in here early is going to feel like a genius someday. 100%, 100%. Hey, Defridge, when the tokenomics changes, I swear to God, it's only up, only up. Yeah. The problem with the changes that I've proposed is that if they would have implemented them last year when I first suggested them, everything would be different now. Yeah. But time is not on our side, because you need developers, you need developers. It requires investment. I'm going to continue having this conversation, because maybe we should just hire the developers and just push out the changes and just go for it. Maybe, you know, maybe we just have to just go for broke. Yeah. But effectively, the changes that I've been talking about are changing our TRVL model to a Bitcoin model. Yeah. And so you've obviously looked at the TRVL utility and you've seen this, yeah, and you know that they've locked up 500 million tokens. That's all locked up now. So actually the circulating supply is 44.4 whatever 441 million out of 500 million, but they've locked up half, haven't they? Now what I was saying is the other half we distribute it on a Bitcoin. We say the half is already pre-mined because we've already started and you can't take it back, and we're not going to change our token to a new token because that would just be disastrous. You say 500 or half is pre-mined, and then the other half, which is already locked up, what you do is you distribute it on a Bitcoin model, i.e. on an emission model based on the value that comes into the Dtravel network on a month-to-month basis. You make hosts compete for it, and it's proportional to the booking value that comes into our network. And so you make hosts compete for that monthly emission, and that monthly emission decreases on a yearly basis. Similar to Bitcoin has a 4-year halving, you create something very similar, like a yearly halving or quartering or whatever you want to call it. Like I kind of just, it was like a suggestion. I just made it up. And then that's just the first aspect of what I suggested. I was suggesting something in addition to that, and the idea was that you don't give hosts 100% of the emission, whereas in Bitcoin the miners get 100% of the emission if they win the emission, so it's a zero-sum game. With this, it's a percentage share of the value you bring for that month period. So as long as you're bringing in bookings, you win something. And then what you do is you reflect the amount of TRVL that you win on a month-to-month basis to a staking vault that's tied to the property that you earned all that reward with. And now people can, with TRVL, stake on individual properties, like a little bit of a game, like a little bit of a Monopoly game. Like, I want to stake some TRVL there, that property looks nice, I'll stay there, I'm going to stake some TRVL there. So you can actually participate in earning TRVL without owning properties, just by staking it on individual, like a little game, staking it all around the world. And people, then you're going to have this kind of secondary economy and a community of people who don't own properties, but now they can stake TRVL and participate in this game where they could earn TRVL if that property does well, just starts to make money. And that would be a mirrored reflection of the emission. It would all come from the emission, and on a year-by-year basis it would decrease. It would be like a quarter or a half or whatever the community decided. Very similar to Bitcoin in this, but much more kind of developed. And the great thing about TRVL is that it's chain agnostic. And so while Bitcoin has its own layer one, it's got its own kind of wallets, etc., and the only way you can get into it is to bridge and kind of have wrapped Bitcoin on other networks. With us, you don't need that. We could be on every network and it would still be TRVL, and so you end up with a chain agnostic store of value, and that would be how you would sell it. TRVL becomes store of value 2.0, and you'd have this kind of token economy based on the way similar to Bitcoin, but with properties, reservations, and staking, etc. So very similar. It's not that complicated, to be honest with you. When I look at this, I was like, what the hell? I have no idea what's going on. Okay, no idea I don't really know where the value comes from. I don't really know how I can earn, and I don't really understand what I can get. I think the most successful token model is Bitcoin, and you just have to copy it and you can improve it a little bit. Yeah, and I think that's the easiest sell. A Bitcoin model is the easiest sell. Most investors would be interested if you had a real world network that employed a Bitcoin model in a DAO. And the great thing about being as a DAO is that it's community owned, and There's no like, kind of like Satoshi is like not one person owns it. And so we've got past the first 4 years, the hard part. The changes are happening, people are moving and leaving, and now we're kind of back to square one. And so we have a real opportunity now to relaunch and reimagine our future. And then you end up with a decentralized application with a completely new tokenomics, which is basically like Bitcoin. And that's how I think this chart, which looks terrible, ends up in this and this. Like, we end up really crazy, because then what you do is you get institutional investors, venture capitalists, they start buying more and more because they see now, wait a minute, this is like a Bitcoin 2.0. The token has real intrinsic value. No one is selling. That's the key. People end up buying the dip and never selling. The reason why is because you can stake your TRVL on properties to earn more TRVL. That's why no one sells. You'll get property owners who will earn TRVL, just like Bitcoin miners will earn Bitcoin, and they would sell to augment their costs, to not augment their costs, but to pay for extra costs. Like, it's an additional way to pay for costs, just like Bitcoin miners. But you'll get this secondary market, which is investors who will be buying TRVL, or from the operator side, they'll be earning TRVL, and instead of selling, they'll be staking TRVL on properties. It'll be like a monopoly game. And honestly, that's the first part of the imagining future that I'm talking about. Honestly, I have much more developed ideas which can come later, which can almost gamify it in a much more developed way. Yeah. But that's for the future, and these are conversations for the future. But I honestly think once the community gets a hold of this, once the world gets a hold of this, we're going to be seeing the craziest pump of ages. Yeah, you don't ever want to let go of your TRVL once those changes come. Never. Yeah, and that's the problem. The problem that we've experienced now is that no one had a reason to buy, because there was no reason to hodl, and we never gave them that reason. It was all speculation based on the future success. You have to give people a reason to never sell and to buy more. And that's the one answer that they haven't been able to answer. That's the one answer that I only care, one question that I only care about. Give people a reason to never sell. Give people a reason to buy every single dip, and give people a reason to hodl forever. Never sell. Just like Bitcoiners never sell. And actually Bitcoiners do sell, because actually when you own Bitcoin, at least up to the first 10 years, there was nothing, you couldn't do anything with it. At least now with Bitcoin, they've got like these, you can loan it now, can't you? You can do a DeFi, you can do DeFi stuff with Bitcoin. So actually a lot of Bitcoiners now, they don't actually need to do anything. They can earn interest through borrowing their lending their Bitcoin, etc., to exchanges. So actually Bitcoin is a much more developed economy now, but that's all came afterwards by people just jumping onto the bandwagon. Here it's all intrinsic within the TRVL Dtravel network. Yeah, all of that other stuff can come later when we're big enough. So I have a vision for this. I talked about it with them in December, January, 1.5 years ago. It was point blank rejected in the most bizarre way. Okay, bizarre way. It was so bizarre. Let me see if I can find the Google Doc. I'm going on a little bit, aren't I? But whatever. Who cares? It's fun, isn't it? It's all fun. Let me see if I can find the document. They shared me the document where they commented on my ideas. And let me see if I can find some of the comments. Hold on. I have to find it. I have to find it quickly. If I can't find it, then I'm going to just move on. This is it. This is it. I want to see the comments. View comments. Spanish comments. Show your comments. Oh, there it is. Oh, there's no comments there. Oh, it's good. I'm on the wrong profile. Hold on. So I'm just looking on my other screen. Show what comments. Show. That's not it. Oh, I'd have to find the original document. This is not the original. It's probably a copy. I can't find it. If I find it, it's not a big deal. Really, it's not a big deal. Maybe this is it. Yeah, this is it. I found it. I don't want to show it on screen, okay? I don't want to do that because I don't want to embarrass anyone. So I don't want names to come up because I think that's not appropriate. I'm just reading it now to find something. Let me see if I can. I'm just trying to find one comment that stood out for me. Look at this. This is the comment. This is the 30th of December. Okay, I'm going to paste it here. This is one of the comments on my idea. Okay, really crazy, shocking, really. And this is I floated this idea in December 2023, and this is one of the comments from one of the Dtravel higher ups. Even in Bitcoin, where the supply is theoretically quite elastic, simply the fact that not too many people knew about Bitcoin in the beginning led to a high concentration of BTC among a few people who were early adopters and who became BTC billionaires, thanks to the fact that Bitcoin succeeded anyway. This also contributed to the proliferation of other L1s because between adopting or joining Bitcoin, where few users already detained a large chunk of BTC supply and created their own blockchains, many communities preferred the latter. So simply replicating Bitcoin's model is likely to create similar problems. So he's saying becoming a BTC billionaire is a problem. Like, how mental is that? This is one of the people in the leadership's changing, yeah, who read my document, which I gave them, and I honestly literally had I just did it overnight. I just did it in 2 hours. I just had this vision of the future, and I created this document of new tokenomics model. And then he's saying this is a problem. Early adopters became BTC build. That's a problem. And he's saying that's a problem. We shouldn't do it because we're going to have the same problem. Can you imagine? How crazy was that? This is actually from the document. I have it here, but I don't want to embarrass the person. I don't want to embarrass him. This is literally a real comment from one of the people in charge of Dtravel, the former version of Dtravel. They said that if we do this, we're going to become billionaires. So let's not do this because we're going to have the same problems. Who cares about the fucking problems? Let's become billionaires. Then we can solve the problems with a little bit of money and inject capital and build and fucking go after Airbnb and like do you know what I mean? Like, this is one of two comments. There's another comment which he was saying basically the same thing. How crazy was that? How crazy is this? I was so shocked. I never got, do you know what the crazy thing is? You're gonna laugh, yeah? I never got feedback on my ideas. They never showed me this document. They never showed me that. I don't know why they showed me this document. Eventually, a year later, this is back in January this year, before I left, they showed me this document. They wanted to revisit my ideas because they could clearly see TRVL was collapsing. And they said, well, why is it collapsing? I said, because your tokenomics sucks, dude. It's shit. That's what I said to them, because the market has not accepted your ideas. Let's go back to my ideas. Then they showed me this document and I read this and I was in shock. I was like, dude, you're here telling me that early adopters, people like myself, I haven't made from the TRVL value, I haven't made a penny, by the way, because you can see it's crashed. Why would you not reward people who, like me, who are basically investing their whole energy to make Dtravel a success and who aren't getting paid? Just like the original people who became Bitcoin billionaires. Those are the people you reward. The early adopters, the early hosts, the early investors. You have to reward them. You have to give them a reason to invest. Give them a reason to keep on buying. Give them a reason to never sell. How crazy was this? This is a real comment from someone in the leadership saying that it's a problem if we become billionaires. Now you see why TRVL collapsed, because this is the energy that I was dealing with, I was faced with. For the whole 4 years, I was dealing with this energy. Yeah. Crazy, huh? Crazy. I couldn't persuade them. I argued. We had so many discussions. You don't understand. Behind the scenes, I put in so much energy and I couldn't get through. I couldn't get through to any of them. Okay. Eventually, the dominoes fell. But, you know, this is what I was dealing with. I'm back now because things are changing. Things are changing. And let's see. I've got a really good feeling about the future. Yeah, I've got a really good feeling. My gut tells me we're finally onto the right path. I don't think we've wasted 4 years. I really believe that everything happens for a good reason. And we probably needed to build this real world network and have some kind of proof of growth and etc. And this is going to help us because future investors will see this and they're not going to shy away from what we've done. We've survived in the most horrible, horrific way. We've survived, and we're still looking to take this to unicorn status. And that's going to be very attractive proposition for a lot of future investors. But how crazy was this? How crazy. This is just one of 2 comments. I don't really want to waste time and try and find the other one right now. Okay. But there was another comment. He was basically saying, or she, I'm not going to say if it's a he or she, because I don't want to give away the person, but the person was saying that it was, we shouldn't allow our early adopters or investors to become rich. Crazy. Mental. All right. That's I should print this off and put it on my wall or something, like the early days, to Dtravel the early days. Yeah. We don't want people like me who pour his whole life for not a penny to become rich. And that's how we're going to make this a multi-billion dollar crypto decentralized company business. Wow. Unbelievable. Let's delete it.